Have several strong guest members here, and so at this time I yield to Mr. Correa, recognize Mr. Correa for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Chairman Bishop, and I want to thank you for holding this hearing on the northern border. We do have to look at all points of entry to this country and see how things, the state of how things are. In preparation for this hearing, I called the Canadian ambassador to the United States, Kristen Hillman, to ask her about what she thought about this hearing, and she reminded me of some very important facts. Number one, Canada is our biggest trading partner. Number two, Canada is our strongest security partner in the world. The only nation that we have a joint military command with, it's called NORAD. Mr. Arthur, you talked about 911. Canada was there for us to protect us when 911 happened and the aftermath.
Absolutely were, sir. The CAF took part.
Thank you. It's not a question, just state me, boss. Canada also fought with us in every major war in this last century. World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan. Just recently, the administration announced a new agreement with Canada to address the issue of refugees. Because refugees is not a U.S. issue, not a Canadian issue, not a Mexican issue. It's a regional issue. The solution is going to demand all of us working together. Dr. Dawson, would you use the word disorder to characterize what's going on at the Canadian border?
No, sir, I would not. And thank you for bringing so many of the great relationship facts to the table today.
You know, Democrats passed an infrastructure bill, included 26 major modernization of land ports of entry, 20 of these in the northern border. I've been going to the southern border all my life. I was in San Isidro recently, spoke to Mr. Jada, a lot of your members, who told me the investments we'd made in that infrastructure in San Isidro transformed that port of entry, probably the biggest in the world. Order, processing, efficiency. 2023 fiscal year funding bill, 125 additional CBP officers, 300 additional Border Patrol agents. You're absolutely right. It's not enough, but it's better than zero. And the big issue is not the funding, as you know. It's finding qualified agents because of the rigorous standards that are there in place. And I'm working, hopefully with a lot of folks here, to address those requirements so we can get folks hired. Dr. Dawson, do you believe infrastructure, personnel technology, which Democrats passed bills for over the last 2 years, will streamline commerce and help process folks at border entries?
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to underscore that these are not distinct, that security and prosperity are interlinked. And if you've
got your biggest partner to the north and your second largest trading partner to the south, you got to have both of them going together. I want to show you a picture of Roxham Road. This was sent to me by U.S. Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz. This is the largest irregular crossing point along the U.S.-Canada border, with a vast majority of traffic, human, drugs, and weapons crossing into Canada from the United States. That's right, crossing into Canada from the United States. I'm going to show you irregular crossing. Does this look like chaos? Finally, in my last 45 seconds here, let me say that the ambassador also pointed out another issue to me. The ambassador said to me, Lou, irregular crossing, there was a spike because the U.S. was requiring COVID vaccine and COVID tests to enter the United States. And people in Canada didn't have those things, so they resorted to irregular crossings. Finally, my question to you, Dr. Dawson, is recent agreement between the U.S. and Canada passed last few days ago. Does this benefit Canada, or is this a win-win agreement?
This is a win-win. Thank you for the question. This is a win-win, and it's one part of a multi-pronged, I don't even know if it's a solution, but efforts to mitigate a humanitarian crisis. Safe Third Country Agreement helps to provide a greater amount of law and order to asylum-seeking processing. Canada also agreed to accept a larger number of Western Hemisphere asylum seekers. There's also the Los Angeles Declaration, which was signed at the Summit of the Americas in 2022.
3 seconds. I guess Dr. Dossman is looking
Mr. Correa, I did enforce on Mr. Crane earlier at the instance of the ranking member. I hate to cut you off, but I certainly appreciate
Thank you,
your
Mr.
being
Chairman.
here, my friend.
Your time.
And with that, I'm honored to recognize the chairman of the Republican Conference. And